What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Dominiqk Peterson, checking in on another episode of the DuckZone503 Podcast. Today is January 16, 2024, and we have a very, very special guest on today. I got 2024 three-star running back signee, Riggs, coming on to the podcast to discuss what he's excited about to be as a Duck, his recruiting process the whole time, what other schools were interested in, what makes Oregon so special, his upbringing, his personal life, who is he as a player. This is a special interview for you guys, so stay tuned. Let's get into it. Go Duck.
Welcome to the DuckZone503 Podcast, talking all things Oregon football with your host, Dominiqk Peterson. Let's go.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? We are back and better than ever. I got Riggs, 2024 three-star running back in the building. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Very hyped to have you on, man. You're the first 2024 guy actually to come on the channel, hopefully to get more on here, get more 2024 guys as we roll this thing out. As you know, Duck fans, if you're new to the podcast, I really enjoy getting the recruits on here once they sign, tell their story, who they are, and what they're excited about to be a Duck. Just get you the full introduction here on the podcast. So Riggs here, three-star running back. He is coming out of Washington, D.C. area at St. John's High School. He's not yet on campus. Off camera, we kind of just talked about this. His school does not allow him to enroll early, so he does have to wait till June. But when he's on campus, guys, watch out because this guy is absolutely electric. We're going to watch some of his highlight tape here in a little bit. But Dejan, before we start, man, I always like to let you guys shout out your social medias, where people can find you if they're not following you yet.
On Instagram, you can search up _Dink. Twitter, Dejan Riggs _ and TikTok if you want to, _Dink as well.
Awesome. We got Daddy Mendez in the building. What's up, Daddy Mendez? Can't wait to see Dejan kill it in that green and yellow. Man, I can't either. This is going to be great. And, man, let's just start with your personal life, your upbringing, man. Where you're from. You're playing in the Washington, D.C. area. Is that where you always grew up? Is that your hometown? Or have you always been a player that kind of moved around? Like, how was your upbringing?
So I was born around Arlington, Virginia. I was never really around D.C. until I went to St. John's. Growing up, I was, bouncing from different schools because we lived in a lot of different areas. But just growing up and being able to, my first time playing in football at Maryland Heat really changed my life. After I played with Maryland Heat, that's when I got introduced to St. John's. And when I got introduced to St. John's, everything just went up from there.
100%, man. For people that don't know Dejan, really, his 247 sports rating, he is the fifth best DC player in his state. So top 5 player in his state, 67th best running back. But look, guys, this guy, as we know, the rankings don't tell the whole story. This guy is absolutely electric, has the stats to back it up. Let's bring up his stats. Rushed for nearly 1,000 yards last year in 10 games, played 3 less games this year and was almost close to that number, 700 yards. He's also, what I see in your game, when I watch your game, is you can catch passes out of the backfield and run the ball. And you don't see that a lot with young kids. You see that in college football, guys that can, catch the ball, get out of there and develop into that. But you're already there, man. You're a dual threat. You can go out in the pass and hit the run. And tell the folks a little bit about your game and what they're getting as an Oregon Duck.
So really, going into high school, I always thought I was a receiver. So my freshman year, I didn't even play running back. I was just mainly receiver, working out with receiver. I played a little bit of defense as well. I played DB, so I was kind of an athlete. I was all over the place. I never forget this day. After my sophomore year championship game, my coach came to me and was like, "It's your time. Like, it's your time. Your junior year is going to be your year, and we need you all around the field on the opposite side of the ball." And I was like, "Coach, I'm willing to do whatever it takes." So
love it.
That summer, I was strictly running back and wide receiver workouts, and I feel like all running backs should do wide receiver workouts as well because it helps a lot, not just from a wide receiver perspective, but also from a running back perspective. And me being able to do both really opened up my recruitment so much because I was able to do not multiple things. I wasn't just stuck on one thing. So when coaches realized I could just go to quarterback, I can run running back, I can go to wide receiver, sometimes I can play a little tight end. They was like, oh, we like this guy, and I feel like everybody should be able to do that on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely, man. Let's looking at your stats here. Passing in the past game, you had over 100 yards passing, 2 touchdowns on the air. Last year, you had 70 yards catching, 1 touchdown through the air, and then rushing here. Last year, you had 10 games played, 118 carries, 962 yards on 8.2 yards per carry, dude. That is amazing. Absolute workhorse. Then you got, the next year coming in, 85 carries, a tremendous, a lot less carries than last year. You went from 118 to 85, but almost matched that 962 number, and on 7.8 yards per carry. I mean, these numbers, guys, absolutely electric. Let's look at a little play here. If you guys want to see a quick little, highlight reel of Dejon, I got one pulled up here from YouTube. Dejon, it says St. John's Jr. Dejon Riggs was last year's slide cut and finds the whole touchdown run and power through. So let's see what we get in here with Dejon Riggs. Can't wait to see this play here. It looks like you got Dejon here. Makes the cut, finds the hole. You see the great vision he has there, guys. Look at this. Able to stay patient right here. Makes his cut right there and finds the hole. That's great vision as a running back. Hey, man, congrats, man. Not trying to hype you up, you know what I'm saying? But let's go, man. That was a great play right there. So as you can see, a young player, that's a dual threat. That's what Oregon is getting right here. Dejon, through your recruiting process, I know there's some other schools that wanted you. How did that go with Oregon? And what were some other schools you were probably looking at? And, how was the recruiting process? How did you end up at Oregon? Like, what was the selling point for you to end up at Oregon?
The recruiting process, my bad, you might hear my mom coming, but the recruiting process was very stressful. But when I sat down at the table with my parents, it was between Pittsburgh, Minnesota, Oregon, and one more other school. And I talked to a lot of big SEC schools like Ole Miss, Bama, Georgia, but that wasn't really my type of football. I wanted to be somewhere where, where I know they use their backs, not just in the backfield, but also in slot position as well. So throughout this process, I went to all these schools, and it was just something about Oregon when I got there. It was just like this the place for me. And Coach Locke was just always on me, always calling me, always making sure I was good, And when it came down to it, I was like, Coach Locke's gonna be the guy to get me to where I need to be. So that's why I chose Oregon.
I love it, man. Yeah, Coach Locke, probably my favorite coach on the team, hands down. Just the way he speaks, man. I'm not even a player. I'm just a fan, and I want to run through a wall for him. It's like this dude when he speaks, and he's very Christian faith, which I am as well. I don't know if you are, but that's a connection I have with him, and he's
Christian household over here.
Yeah, 100%. So he's a very, very great dude to connect with, and just wants the best for his players. Not looking to be the star, not on social media a lot. Just hands down work hard, and that's who you love. And his favorite quote of mine is he was talking to the media one time. He's like, we don't have no soft batch cookies around here. We don't have no soft batch cookies. So guaranteed Dejon Riggs ain't no soft batch cookie if Carlos Loughlin's wanting him, man. No doubt. Let's get into some fun things, man. Like, let's do some random questions. Like, what's your favorite food? Like, if you're in Eugene, you're hungry, what's your go-to thing? What's your go-to meal?
Man, it's crazy you asked me this question because my first time going down to Eugene, they took us to this little restaurant. I don't know what was the name of it. I really don't know, but they had fried ravioli. I never had that in my life. And when I got this every time I come down here. So when I got that, I was like, I got to get that every time I get down here because it was the best. It was the best. We don't get that down here. We get mozzarella sticks, stuff like that, but fried ravioli, never heard of it. And it was good.
Yeah, that's wild. I got to try that. I didn't even know they had that in Eugene. Man, yeah, I know there's a couple good places down there. Like the Elkhorn Brewery is really good. Dave's Hot Chicken, everybody knows about that. Tracktown Pizza is definitely a good spot. everybody has their own reviews on the Tracktown Pizza, but I really enjoy it. All right. So, you spoke about a little bit about Carlos Loughlin, your running back coach who you committed to. There's a bunch of running back coaches trying to get at you, a bunch of good running back coaches that you probably want to commit to. What's like the separation between Carlos Loughlin? Like, what was the main thing? Was it the way he's developing our running backs? I mean, you've seen what Bucky Irving and Noah Whittington has become, and Noah Whittington's going to return. Jaden Lamar is another young player that came in last year that's looking real special. Is it development side of things that you looked at and you're like, okay, that's what I like? Or is it more of, this guy's just, a playing out character that I match with, and that's what I want to do, and that's who I love? Or, what area of Carlos Loughlin are you really driven to?
It's both parts. Development part, seeing what he did to Bucky Irving and also Noah. I heard his journey and Noah's journey. So just seeing what Noah and him came from, it was just like he's gonna get me right to where I need to be. Not only that, just over time talking to Coach Locke, being around Coach Locke, I just felt the connection, and I just knew like this got to be my coach. He reminded me of my offensive coordinator, Coach Bailey, as I referred to early in the video. That was the coach that came up to me my sophomore year and told me that we need to get this done and you need to be on the other side of the ball. So when I seen the similarities in both of them, I was like, this is the school for me, and this is the coach for me, and I know this coach right here is going to do what he has to do to get me where I need to be.
100%. Yeah, running back coach Carlos Loughlin definitely developing his players into something special. We've seen it. Look, when he came in, him himself was relatively unknown. Like when he came in, he came from I believe it was Western Kentucky, if I'm pretty sure. I don't know if so he was, and he was not, and that offense was not passing the ball or running the ball at all. They were a heavy pass offense. So when he came into Oregon, to me, in my opinion, he was the most questionable coach. He was like, I don't know who this guy is. He has no background. I don't know. But today, 2 years later, since he's been hired, I gotta say he's my most favorite coach. If he was to leave, I would probably be the most upset at any coach leaving. Mm-hmm. And he's finding hidden gems. Like when Bucky Irving, Noah Whittington, Duck fans remember this. Byron Cardwell was our starting, or appeared to be our starting running back going into 2021 because he had a 600, 700 yards rushing. He was emerging, and then all of a sudden he had no play time. I mean, Bucky Irving, Noah Whittington came in. He's the transfer. He brought him in. And I didn't know anything about these guys, so I just expect Byron Cardwell to take off with the position, running back one. Well, man, Bucky Irving, Noah Whittington, we don't even remember Byron Cardwell anymore. I mean, these guys have developed into something special, and where they were before, there were nothing of that. So you see what Carlos Loughlin is and what he's doing, and tremendously underpaid. This dude deserves a raise. I cannot wait. Let's talk about your offensive coordinator, Will Stein. Will Stein, you spoke about how you started at wide receiver. You have a God-given ability about going and catching passes along with running the ball already at a young age. How do you feel like Will Stein? Because I feel like Will Stein, definitely committed into an offense that runs like that. I've seen Bucky Irving go out for a pass. Duck fans remember when we were down coming back against Washington State in 2022. Bucky Irving on a 4th and long went out in the slot and caught a huge pass that kept that game going and allowed us to come back. So you're kind of getting a player like this with Dejon Riggs that can go out to the slot, make a pass, come back, get a big run, has great vision. We've seen that on the YouTube highlight reel. How do you feel like Will Stein complements your game?
Will Stein came to my school. I forgot what day it was. He came and had a personal meeting with me. And I asked him when we sat down, I said, Coach, how do y'all use our backs? Coach Locke already explained to me how, but I wanted to hear from Coach Stein, like how do you use your back? And he told me we use them in all places. But you seen Bucky throw a lot of touchdown passes, the Bo Nix. We see him go out to wide receiver, and he was like, one thing about it, you're gonna get the ball in all 3 levels, so it doesn't matter. And I was like, oh yeah, this is the offense I need to be in. So when he told me that, I was like, I just know I'm gonna take off from there because they don't just keep their backs just in one place. They know how to move them around, and I like the way how his offense is, so I know I'll thrive and be successful in his offense.
Mm-hmm. One thing I love about Oregon's offense is just how balanced we are. We can run, you can pass, and in my opinion, as a defender on the football field, if you are facing an offense that can pass the ball extremely well, or run the ball extremely well, I think it's easier to defend an offense that can just do one thing really well. But if you got an offense that can run and pass effectively, both the same, like that is very, very difficult. And I think that's something that Will Stein does really well. You look at the play counts he has throughout the game. You're midway through the second quarter, it's 9 runs, 9 passes. It's like, man, this is so balanced, So that's something I really love about Will Stein. He's one of the hottest coaches out there right now. Arizona head coaching job was open. He was a list as a candidate. Obviously, that didn't happen. Arizona has their head coach now, and I don't see him going anywhere. But I do think Will Stein is going to be his name thrown in the future as more head coaching jobs come out of it. So that's another question I kind of have for you as a recruit. Just in general, what are some like red flags you look for on the recruiting trail? Talking about, talking to coaches and stuff. What are some things, or maybe you go into a locker room and something's not right. What are some like red flags you're looking for if you're on a visit, you're going into a certain program that you're looking for, and you're like, I don't know if I want to be here. Like, what are some red flags that you personally look for?
Some red flags that I looked for in this recruiting process was promises. A lot of coaches, they promise you a lot of things. I went to a lot of schools, and they'll say, you'll get here, you'll start as a freshman, all this other stuff. I'm not really looking for that. As a freshman, I feel like I gotta grow. This is a new stage in my life. I need guidance. I need to develop more. I need to get bigger, stronger, faster. I don't want to be rushing into something that I've never experienced before. But not only that, a lot of coaches will tell you, this, that, and this. But Coach Locke, he told me the truth and told me what I really needed to hear, and told me, like, you're not going to start, but when you show me that you could do what you do, as your years go by, you're going to get in, you're going to dominate. So when he said that to me, I was like, no coach really sat down and really told me like the truth. They really just sold me dreams and was like beating around some of the questions me and my mother was asking, because they didn't want to answer it straightforward. So that was some of the red flags I was looking for.
100%, man. That's a great answer, because a lot of kids your age right now coming into college, especially, with the NIL era, the media, the social media era, a lot of kids could get hung up on wanting to play right away, wanting to come in, especially if you're killing it the way you are in high school. You go into college, you're thinking, man, like, I'm a star. Ain't nobody stopping me coming in, but you have the right head on your shoulders, man. And it sounds to me like, that the situation you're coming into, when people are telling you, hey, you can be a star day one, let's start right here. Hold on a second. I know I've seen this movie before. I've seen other players come in day one and they had to transfer a year later because they weren't ready. Mm-hmm. A great example would be, he's on our team now, Dante Moore. Went to UCLA, tried to start, just simply wasn't ready. Needs a year, needs some development. So that's some things that, I always say this on my podcast, and this is my personal opinion, is, look, 5-star freshman, out there, top 10 recruit, I still think that it's best for these players to develop 1 year. Even if they're ultra talented, develop 1 year, get used to the college lifestyle, this is a brand new life for you. I mean, you're from Washington, D.C., you're coming all the way to the West Coast, man. So this is going to take some time to get used to, get the playbook's brand new. So especially coming in June, it's going to take a while for you. So I think the best thing possible, in my opinion, for you is to really develop. And I think that's the plan you already have set in your head. And, behind Noah Whittington, who's returning, we got a D2 transfer, Jay Harris, who looks to be an absolute beast. We got Jed Lamar, who was a young freshman player last year. So, man, this running back room is bright. I cannot wait to see what you guys do for real. Let's talk about, as a college football fan, are you even a college football fan? Do you watch college football?
It's crazy you asked that question. I don't watch football at all.
Really? What?
Yeah,
why is that? You just like playing it, or what's the case with that?
I don't really know. Just growing up, I just never been watching football. My dad, he's into that stuff. I'm really not into that.
Wow.
I'm into playing the game. Take a break from the game, go work out for 2-3 hours, and come back and play the game again. So that's really what I do. I don't really watch football or basketball like that.
I love it, man. Like, why spend time watching the game where you could be in the game, right?
That's my mentality.
I totally agree. Totally agree. I love that mentality, man. 100%. What about Dan Lanning and when the Bama coach job opportunity opened up, there was some rumors swirling that was completely false, that he was in Alabama at that moment, and him showing the loyalty to not take one of the best coaching jobs out there. Alabama job. I mean, this is the premier. We're talking Georgia, Alabama, USC, some of these the Ohio State top jobs in the country, and he turned it down to stay at Oregon. I mean, how much does that mean to you as a recruit to know that your head coach is not going anywhere for the near future?
It means a lot. I went down there in the spring. We talked, and he said, "I'm not going nowhere," and I believed him. So when that rumor was thrown out, people was reposting it, posting it, sending it to my group chat, sending it to my phone. Your coach leaving. I'm like, my coach ain't going nowhere, bro. He's loyal to this organization, and he's trying to do something special here. And we might mess around and turn it to the next Bama. So,
yeah, man, I love it. Hey, so looking forward to next season. Oregon's entering the Big Ten. Lots of great opponents that Oregon really hasn't faced a lot of because it's a brand new conference, right? We got Ohio State, Michigan, a lot of great opponents. Who are some opponents that you're really looking forward to playing in your freshman year? Especially next season. We got the schedule out already. A couple opponents, maybe a couple guys that you're really excited to play against. That you want to shout out?
My man Shamar. We both gonna be on the sideline, but me and my man Shamar. I don't really. Oh, my man Tay, but he in Big 12 though, so we ain't gonna play him. But my man Shamar, definitely. I want to play in my hometown. Be able to see my family. And another game I want to play is Ohio State. That's gonna be a nice game for me. I want to be in that game.
Yeah, Ohio State at home this year. That's going to be big. I was at the game in 2021 when we went to the shoe and we beat them. That was a huge game. That was a great game. So I can't wait, man. I'm hoping to go to the Michigan game too to see you guys play and all that, and hopefully to be at the spring game too. So it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be a great year. Did you? I know you don't watch college football a lot, but did you happen to catch any Oregon games? Did you watch any Oregon football games this year?
Yeah, I watched Washington. I watched Colorado. I watched all those games. Yeah, but that's because that's my school now. So I be
gotta
watching.
Watch it.
Yeah, I be watching.
Yeah, that makes sense. What was some of your favorite moments that you seen this last year that they see from the Ducks?
Just watching running backs dominate. It's really
100%. Yeah. It sucked that Noah was out this early in the year, but it's kind of a blessing in disguise because now you guys get him for this year, and he's able to lead that room now. So that's good, man. That's good. All right, man. Well, I think that about wraps it up, man. Unless you got anything else to add, just one more question. What were you most excited about for your Oregon career? Like getting out on the field? Is it meeting the fans? Is it rushing for 1,000 yards every season? Like what are you most excited about finally being a Duck? Looking forward.
I don't really know. I just it's a moment. I don't really know.
It's all around, man. Just live it up, man. Just live it up. It's hard to point to one thing. I understand. It's a tough question because there's so many things to look forward to. But from everything, just live it up, man. Because just realize that this is a big time moment in your life, and I'm happy that you came on here and shared your experiences, and we got to meet you, man. Thank you for coming on, man. Appreciate you. If anybody wants to follow 2024 3-star running back Oregon signee Dejon Riggs at Backdoor Dink. I got it scrolling here at the bottom ticker if you guys want to go follow him. If you guys want to follow us at DuckZone503, I'm the host, Dominiqk Peterson. I try to give you guys 1 or 2 videos a week on Oregon football. Try to get some guys in here. If you guys enjoy it, please subscribe to the podcast. Hit that like button. And on Spotify, if you're listening, rate the podcast 5 stars. As always, guys, I'll see you in the next episode.